Ed, two more witnesses came to the intelligence community's secure facility today to review the testimony they had already provided behind closed doors. That's Lieutenant Colonel Alex Vinderman and Christopher Anderson. We'll let you know the moment we hear anything about changes they may be making to their transcriptions.
Absolutely. We are double teaming that committee this hour, as we noted. Jillian, as well as Mike, we appreciate that report. We'll get back to you as news warrants. In the meantime, a lot to discuss with Marc Thiessen, a fellow at the American Enterprise Institute and a Fox News contributor. Good to see you, Marc.
Good to see you.
You write today in the Washington Post that this should be censure, not impeachment of the president. Among other reasons, right at the top, you say, even before he took the oath, Democratic groups were looking for a pretext to remove him from office. It sounds like that tweet the president was talking about at the rally last night, the lawyer for the whistleblower saying in 2017 that there was going to be a coup. That feeds right into that.
Absolutely. And look, there was an article in the Washington Post, my newspaper, on Inauguration Day, so the morning before Donald Trump took the oath of office, saying that the impeachment drive has already begun. The Democrats have been looking for a pretext to impeach Donald Trump since before he took the oath of office. They thought that Robert Mueller was going to give it to them, but instead he cleared Trump of any wrongdoing or in a conspiracy with Russia. And so Trump had an opportunity at that point to have an inflection point in his presidency, to pivot and claim that victory. And instead, he made the awful mistake of asking the president of Ukraine to investigate Hunter Biden. The difference between this and the Mueller probe is that in this case, in the Mueller probe, the president did nothing wrong. In this case, he did do something wrong. It's not necessarily impeachable. Only a minority of Americans think it's an impeachable offense. But he did something wrong. He asked a foreign leader to investigate one of his political rivals. And so his nose isn't clean here. He did do something wrong. Most Americans, including many Trump supporters, know he did something wrong. Well, they just don't believe it's an impeachable offense.
But on that point, there are Trump supporters insisting, some of them, that he did nothing wrong at all. So what are you saying that he specifically did wrong? You've got Anthony Scaramucci, a former aide to the president, claiming that he broke a law. You have a whole bunch of other people saying that's nonsense.
It's not clear that he broke a law, and put aside the quid pro quo for a second. The phone call that he keeps saying is perfect. It's not perfect. Only polls show that only 30% of Americans think there was nothing wrong with the call. The 59% majority think that it was either there was nothing wrong with it, as you said, or that it was wrong but not impeachable. So what that means is the majority of Americans agree with Democrats that Trump did something wrong, but disagree that it's an impeachable offense. So the solution to this is quite simply that instead of drop the whole impeachment thing and just censure him. And that way, Republicans they might even do it with Republican votes, but the Democrats are so driven to impeach this president and remove him from office that they can't bring themselves to do that.
It could be some middle ground. I remember during the Clinton impeachment, there were former Republican and Democratic presidents offering the same course that you're suggesting now in this impeachment battle, and yet obviously the Congress did not listen. A quick other point on Hunter and Joe Biden. Last night at the rally, the president was talking about it. So was Republican Senator John Kennedy. The president tweeting today, quote, "What did Hunter Biden do for the money?" He's quoting Senator John Kennedy at the rally. A very good question. He and Sleepy Joe must testify. Moving forward here, we heard that report a moment ago about next Wednesday, the public testimony begins. New information today is that now Republicans have until this Saturday, late morning, to present what witnesses they want to call. Should Devin Nunes and other Republicans be calling Hunter and/or Joe Biden?
They may very well do that, and of course the Democrats are not going to allow them to do that. But the difference is Lindsey Graham can call them in the Senate. That there can be here's the problem. Donald Trump did something wrong in that phone call. Joe Biden and Hunter Biden did something wrong as well. Hunter Biden had no knowledge of Ukraine, no knowledge of energy. He was only hired because he was the vice president's son. They used his name to get meetings of Burisma at the State Department. And Joe Biden, even if he didn't get the prosecutor fired to protect his son, there was an appearance of a conflict of interest. And under U.S. regulations about conflicts of interest, he should have had nothing to do with the decision. So both people did something wrong. So we're going to have an investigation of the president in the House, and I guarantee you, as that's happening, we're going to have an investigation of Joe Biden in the Senate.
Right. It might have to go to the Senate because we're not seeing it happen in the House at all. No investigation of Biden. Now, the Biden campaign insists he did nothing wrong. Marc Thiessen, appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
All right. One of the world's richest men now taking aim